All right, welcome back into another edition of the Fantasy NFL Today Show, produced by SportsEthos. I'm your host, Anthony Quaranta. You can follow me at AQFresh. I'm joined here by the SportsEthos Dynasty lead, Patrick Leary. Patrick, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk some rookies and do the best ball draft. It'll be fun.
Very cool. Yeah. So definitely, before we get into the best ball draft, as is our tradition every Thursday, obviously you're our dynasty lead.
Yep.
You said you wanted to talk rookies, and that's definitely what we wanted to do today. I know you are sifting through all of your rankings for the different positions. So why don't we go ahead and just start with the quarterbacks here a little bit? It's at least as far as consensus goes, a pretty lackluster class, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about it personally?
I am becoming slightly more bullish on Cam Ward than I would have been a few months ago around draft time. I think the consensus about him kind of being an out of nowhere prospect to become the number one pick is a bit frightening, and the Titans being the landing spot is not amazing. But you don't really hear any negative buzz about him like whatsoever, and it seems like that's going to be something that a role he steps into really comfortably. Now, whether he's like good enough to be like a transcendent fantasy quarterback, I think is still TBD. But from like a dynasty perspective, I'd be comfortable with him in like the mid first in like a rookie startup, and then I think he's a really interesting best ball pick just because the upside is definitely there at a point where you're not getting a lot of other guys with upside on that level. And then besides him, the rest is kind of a mess. Dart has an interesting profile. I know you're a Giants guy. Dart has an interesting profile. I'm not sure he's going to get much action this year or be good enough to sustain a NFL quarterback job for more than a year or two, but he has an interesting fantasy skill set. Milrow, I'm a Seahawks guy. The buzz on Milrow is great, but he's also like a year away from being a year away. If you talk to people who know things, and then it's just a mess after that. Like Tyler Shuck is probably going to get that job, but I mean, what kind of quarterback is he really? And the Browns situation is the hottest of hot messes that is not worth touching in fantasy until it plays out.
Right. So I wrote a little bit about Tyler Shuck myself in my late round Flyers best ball article.
Yeah.
For best ball, I think he's fine. He's generally a last round pick if you kind of run out of stacking options and have one of the Saints, or you can just double up on Shuck and Johnson, the tight end. I think that's great. But in my research, he didn't. I mean, so he had a 7-year college career, but he never really broke out, which was the weird part. It seemed like he, at least stats wise, he was decent, but never really great. I don't know if the tape maybe tells a different tale. But yeah, I think that, I mean, he was the third quarterback taken in the NFL draft. So I think that just shows the lack of depth at the quarterback position. I want to talk
about. He had a million injuries too, which is just like that could be a problem for him in the league as well.
Okay. And then getting back to the number one pick, Cam Ward, a little bit. How do you feel about the environment that they've put him in? So the Titans have definitely upgraded. They've, on paper, of course, upgraded their offensive line in free agency. They did add a couple mid-round receivers, and then they tagged on Miami teammate Xavier Restrepo there as an undrafted free agent, who I low-key really like to make the roster, by the way.
Sure.
What do you think about? Do you think that the Titans maybe could have did more to help him succeed early, or do you think adding kind of Tyler Lockett and some mid-range, underwhelming rookies is enough here to go with Calvin Ridley?
Could they have done more to help him? I don't know. They had to go from such a position of weakness where they probably had the worst wide receiver room until the Saints had everyone get injured in the league last year. And they had a terrible, terrible offensive line. And they did spend a lot of money to try to upgrade that offensive line. And they did draft a lot of bring in 3 rookie wide receivers. You mentioned Restrepo. They've got Io Manor from Stanford and Chimere DK as well. And none of those are high capital investments. It's like kind of a volume shooting approach to trying to get him some better guys. And then obviously he's just got kind of the holdovers with the 2 running backs and Ridley and Okonkwo. And also Gunnar Helm, who I don't really know if he matters for in terms of like helping his situation, but he was kind of like a prospect-y tight end that was at least on people's radars. So could they have done more? I don't know. They did a lot, but they were from such a position of weakness that I really still think it's a very bad situation. However, it's kind of going to be incumbent on what level of I'd say readiness and like situational maturity Cam Ward has. Like if Cam Ward is just a guy with the right makeup, like it kind of seems like he is, I think he could potentially kind of make that situation work for himself. It won't be like amazing and high upside because of the, lack of great players around him, but I think he can succeed there. But yeah, it's just a rough situation, and it's why I'm still not like take Cam Ward 102, because like if the number 1 overall pick quarterback, pops off, then he'll be a great asset. Cause I just think there's too many situational downsides for him.
And when you say take him at 102, I'm assuming you're talking about the super flex leagues. You're not taking him at 102 in one quarterback.
Yeah, no, I don't even. We're in one quarterback. I'd say he's probably a 2nd round pick. He might be a late first. Super flex. I think he's probably like 106. I would say.
Yeah, so I can tell you in the 2 rookie 1 QB league drafts I did, he went in the middle of the 2nd round in both of them. And then I took him at 104 in a super flex league. I gotta let my dog out here. Give me a quick positive note, something to believe in Jackson Darden, and then we'll move to our running back position here.
Yeah, I think Jackson Dart, the big thing is just the rushing upside. If he gets that job, he will likely be a fantasy producer. But I don't know if he's going to be a good enough quarterback at winning NFL games. I was actually having this conversation with John yesterday about kind of the Justin Fields type quarterback, where it's a quarterback who runs a lot and scores a lot of fantasy points, but he's not good enough at being an NFL quarterback to keep an NFL job and have consistent dynasty value. And that's, I think, what I worry about with Dart. But the rushing upside is definitely there. He was super productive at Ole Miss. It's obviously a system that kind of cheats production metrics a little bit. But I think the problem that I keep running into with Dart is I think he's pretty behind Russell Wilson, it seems like. And the window for him to start and then need to succeed feels fairly small for me. He's definitely worth having, and in the chance that he does put it together. But I guess it's just a little bit of I have a little bit of pessimism just because I'm not sure what the window is going to look like. Malik Neighbors is a great wide receiver 1, though, for a quarterback if they're trying to put it together.
That's right, Malik Neighbors, my wide receiver 3 on the season. Yeah, if you my top 75 wide receivers came out today, and while this is a best ball show, those are redraft rankings specifically for 2025. Although I certainly will take Malik Neighbors as a 3rd wide receiver off the board in my best ball drafts, and also be happy with it. If you're tuning in on X, thank you so much. X or Twitter, whatever we want to call it these days, right? Hop over to YouTube, subscribe to our channel just to make sure that you get all the videos. Some of them aren't going to be on Twitter. So if you want to catch them all, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out sportsethos.com for all of our work. Patrick's going through some of his dynasty rankings, and let's go ahead and move right on to the running backs now. Obviously, I mean, we could probably talk about Aston Genty all day and just how good of a prospect he is and how awesome we expect him to be with the Raiders, right? So why don't we go ahead and talk about some of the, I guess, lower guys in the rankings, because this is a really strong running back class from my understanding, and you know more than me, obviously.
Yeah, it's a great
So,
running back class.
so why don't you go ahead and give me, let's say, two of your favorite, second, third round, one quarterback rookie draft running backs to target.
Yeah, one thing that I actually do want to say in like non-Gen-T running back land is I've become much more bullish on Marion Hampton over the last like month or so. I don't want to say it's all Najee Harris blowing his face up with a firework.
That was my question.
But it really is a lot of that, just because, I mean, they released one of the Chargers reporters like tweeted a picture of Najee Harris earlier today, and he's like walking around in like a hoodie and sunglasses, and he's wearing like the Bret Hart sunglasses too, the really thick, that it's like, oh no, I'm just wearing this, bro. I swear I'm not like hiding my face. It's like, I just think that situation is so weird that I just like cannot imagine anything other than Hampton is going to like hit the ground running at this point, just because they're just like obstructing something with the Najee injury. So Hampton, I would say, if your team is kind of like really trying to go like right now in Dynasty, Hampton would be 102 for me. And I'm a Tet guy. Like I guess he likes T-Mac better. I'm a T-Mac guy. I understand the Travis Hunter case, but Marion Hampton, I think I have him sixth. I have him behind only obviously the top three, and then Saquon and Devon Achane. And I have.
So you're talking about your overall rankings, then?
Yeah, Hampton sixth.
RB six overall.
6 overall running back in Dynasty. Yeah, sorry, RB6.
Oh, Dynasty. Sorry, I was like redraft that, but yeah, you're right. Dynasty. That makes a lot of sense.
I think he's probably like 12, 13 maybe now in redraft. I took him actually. I had my Scotty. Do you do Scotty Fishbowl at all?
Yeah, I actually just completed my Scott Fishbowl draft yesterday or the day before. I'll post it online, but yeah.
I did Scott Fishbowl live on Sunday, and I kind of got squeezed in the third round, and I didn't really like where I ended up. And I just smacked Hampton because I was like, this is like the guy that you want, like
right.
The upside for a running back in this super weird volume based scoring format that they have is just unlimited. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll just do this because I haven't really done enough of the Hampton thing in anything yet this spring, summer. So yeah, so I'm super bullish on him. Other guys I like further down the board. I know you're a Tracy guy. We've talked about this already.
Everybody loves skateboat.
He's just like, he transcends like what you think about like what makes a running back good, I think, because he's really slow. Probably we're not like 100% sure because he didn't really run, but I
don't think he's the fastest guy in the world.
No, he's slow, super slow for an NFL running back. But I've watched him play. Actually, I've University of Washington season tickets, and Arizona State played University of Washington. It was University of Washington's worst game when they were undefeated into the national championship game 2 years ago. And Scatabo was a monster. Like he would just do stuff that it was like, who is this guy? Like what? Like how is this like possible? And so last year, obviously, I knew like I'd seen him in a couple of games, and then last year he was just an absolute machine. I just think he does stuff as like a competitor that is transcendent of like, oh, this is just like a 4-7 running back. And the other case that I've heard on him that I really like is he does the things that score fantasy points. He scores touchdowns and he catches passes. And he's a well-rounded running back. On top of that, he's not just like a little scat back that catches passes. Like he's a big, well-rounded running back, and he kind of does the valuable things that kind of, even if he's not an amazing NFL running back, he will score for you. So I'm big on him. And then I guess the situation I'm still not totally sure about is the Cleveland running backs.
Yeah, that's interesting, especially with the Judkins arrest and all of that stuff going on as well. Yeah, the Cleveland's super interesting. What do you think about Dylan Sampson?
There was a lot of really good pre-draft buzz on him, and then obviously he got one of the worst possible runouts, I would say, because he got lower capital than people were expecting. He could have been a day 2 guy, he was a day 3 guy, and he got drafted behind one of the like bell cow star prospects in the class. And so that combination is just horrible. And so he's just been kind of like a 3rd round guy for most of the summer. Now, obviously, he's like almost even with Judkins in best ball from just like a outlook perspective. So, and really like for the next 3 months are huge for medium term, like dynasty outlook. Like, who wins the job in training camp and who impresses to start the season is like massively consequential. Right. So there is a ramp for Sampson, I think, to be an NFL starter early on now. But I'm just still a little like, what is this legal situation with Judkins actually meaningfully do to his career is such an up in the air question that I'm not sure how, because I was pretty high on Judkins.
I think a lot of people were. He was really talented in college and
such a good runner.
I think to speak to the kind of the cloud over his head now and what that does for his career long term and short term, I think it's so ambiguous in large part because the NFL doesn't even handle these things with a lot of what word am I looking for? Consistency. There it is. They don't handle it with a lot of consistency or anything. So, I mean, we'll see where he ends up going. I think I've gotten him as late as like 118 in the best ball draft. And I mean, that's kind of what, like
it's the range.
Zach Charbonnet, Ramondre Stevenson range. I'm happy to take the risk there at that point.
Yeah.
Especially if I have 2 stud running backs, I'm happy to take him as my 3rd in that range and just hope for the best.
Yeah, it's a pretty awful situation too, which is just like uniquely, difficult on a lot of fronts. But Sampson was a player that I was interested in before he got the bad draft run out with the double rookie running back. So he's compelling. I would definitely take some shots on him in best ball. I just don't know, like, I don't know how much the situation changes Dylan Sampson's long-term outlook, which is why I'm not like rushing to like now take him in the early 2nd round in like a dynasty rookie draft. That's probably good on running backs.
Okay, very good. And I know you touched a little bit on receivers already, talking about how you definitely prefer T-Mac over Travis Hunter. Why don't we go ahead and get into the draft, see kind of where some of these rookies are going to fall. We can certainly talk more about them as well. I did indicate in a tweet that we were going to do a Best Ball Mania draft, but then conveniently enough, Underdog dropped the German Shepherd 2, and that, I mean, it dropped this afternoon, and we're already at 60%. So we're going to get one of these in just because it's filling so quickly, and I want to try to max it if I can.
What's the details on it? I haven't seen it.
As far as like the advancement rates and stuff?
No, the money and the maxes.
So it's a $5 entry. It's a 20 max. So $100 to max it. 100K in prizes. So let's see.
Those are the sweet spot. I like those ones.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of, like, if it's $100 or less to max. Those are kind of my favorite tournaments. Definitely partially bankroll. I'm a volume drafter, and it gets to be a lot. So I like to do like the $3-5 dollar tournaments where it's like a 20-25 entry max. Those are kind of my favorite ones to do. Let's go ahead and pull up the board here. We are in, and let's see where
we got.
We're at the 7th pick. So the 7th pick is kind of tough. Let's see, is there anybody in the room that I know? Sometimes I'll recognize some names just from Best Ball Twitter. No one that I particularly recognize, but the 7th spot's not particularly my favorite. I think there's a clear top 6 which is kind of goes to Jahmyr Gibbs. And then I don't love Christian McCaffrey. I've got a pretty big fade on him. What do you normally do at 107?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think I would hate the 7 spot in like a home league, a redraft home league, because I think it's much easier to click McCaffrey at 7 in best ball because you just get the bull McCaffrey case if it hits. And if it doesn't, then it's whatever. This team isn't the one. For me, it's just I like to either one of the top 6 falls or I just click McCaffrey and then I'm like, all right, this is how I talk myself into like the upside case for where he's like the top scorer and he was going, half a round too late.
Okay, fair enough. So the first 3 were Chase, Jefferson, Barkley. Yeah,
I would imagine it's just going to be McCaffrey. I'm down to take Neighbors or Puka as well. I think those are definitely the clear next 2 after that.
Yeah,
for me at least.
My auto pick at 107 is
there we go.
Neighbors, but yeah, CD Lamb is
going
to be the pick.
Easy.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a great 107.
Yeah, the volume is just going to be insane on him. I'm super high on him this year. He'd probably be he's pretty much equal to Jefferson for me, because Jefferson's got the quarterback complication, which probably will be fine, but might not be amazing. And I don't think you have to like worry about anything with CeeDee Lamb this year. I mean, he's just going to get the ball, 175 targets or something. He's going to just get the ball all the time.
Yeah, even with George Pickens there, I just don't. I mean,
that's a net positive, I think, because it's going to help the offense move more.
Yeah, I agree. It'll definitely take some pressure off of CeeDee Lamb, and I mean, they don't really have much running back depth there at all. So, I mean, they are a strong candidate to lead the league in passing attempts, which I believe they did 2 years ago, or they were close to it at the very least.
What do you think about Bowers?
I like Bowers. I don't love Bowers. I haven't taken him a lot, so I'm fine taking him here.
Assuming that the 2 running backs are going to come off, one Jinty already did. Assuming Henry comes off, I usually just click Bowers here.
You click Bowers. Okay. I think it's interesting. I like Ladd McConkey a lot.
I take McConkey for sure, too. I think McConkey's interesting. I have not taken much of him, but he'd be a good in consideration here. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take McConkey. Start out with 2 strong receivers.
I think that's probably more interesting than just it's the middle of the second round. I'll just take Brock Bowers.
And then we pick again. If we could get, I've noticed that Trey McBride falls a lot to the early 30s. If we can get him at 31, I think that would be a smash pick.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt. Yeah. I think the tricky thing that I see come up a lot is because of the Bengals, and then the fact that the Cardinals and the Bengals play in the championship week of a lot of these contests, that the turn usually snares Trey McBride. Higgins McBride usually gets scooped there at these next 2 picks.
Yeah. Sometimes folks will go with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride just to really go ahead and get that week 17.
This guy has to pick T. Higgins, I think. I don't
He
know.
did. He went T. Higgins at 24 and Marvin Harrison at 25. So
okay. Yeah, so for sure if Trey McBride comes back, I'm no hesitation, but I don't think he's going to come back.
I've seen it happen. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes. This guy won't take him unless he wants to go bully tight end with the top 2.
What do you think about quarterback?
I like Josh Allen. I like Lamar Jackson. I am perfectly comfortable taking a quarterback here if I don't love the run out. I would consider Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. What are you thinking?
I prefer Josh Allen. I just think he does so much on his own. And then you don't have to really worry about like stacking. I mean, you can stack like Shakir or whatever. But I don't think he's like a quarterback you really need to stack. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, Trey McBride I would have picked McBride over both the quarterbacks. All right. So, I mean, I'm cool with Josh Allen here. I like that.
Yeah, I think that's a cool. Just hey, Josh Allen's on your team. That's
very nice.
Easy.
And like you said, he's not a guy that you have to force a stack with. I mean, Shakir falls nicely with an ADP of 79. So if he's there and we need a receiver, probably go ahead and snag him. But honestly, what I like to do a lot, if I don't get either of them, what I like to do is even take Dalton Kincaid here around, for us, it'd be 127, 138. Yeah. But kind of in that range, if I have Josh Allen and I missed out on Shakir, I do prioritize Dalton Kincaid. I think he could be in for a really good season. I think he was hurt a bit last year. Still super talented. Really, there's an argument that he could be the number one target in Buffalo because they don't really have a wide receiver.
Yeah, I agree with that. What are our running backs looking like right now? Because I know we don't have one.
We can go James Cook.
Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah,
I would like to do that. I think that would probably be a pretty clear pick.
I don't think it might not fall.
Yeah, if he gets there, then I think that we go ahead and go James Cook.
It does feel like if he doesn't get there, we should probably lean towards I don't want to say 0 RB, but fairly.
Definitely take the receiver here then. I was hoping it'd be Worthy, but he went at 38.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless this guy, this is the guy that would take him. I knew that was going to happen. All right, what do we want to do here? Do we want? I don't really want to go to George Pickens and double up because we have an elite.
Who's at the? Oh gosh, is it really just Terry at the top right now? Oh, it's
Terry and Rice. I'd go ahead and pull up Cortland Sutton here personally.
Okay. Yeah, I thought safe. I don't have any of Cortland Sutton this year. I don't think, but I probably should, frankly.
If we didn't have Josh Allen and we would have had the same run out otherwise, I probably would have pulled up George Pickens and prioritized going Dak Prescott, just for a super Dallas stack. Again, it's a team I said that could lead the league in receptions or lead the league in passing attempts. So I mean, I've definitely done that in a couple of drafts. So as we we're going to be in the. I like Chuba Hubbard a lot. A guy I wanted to talk about with you today is Travis Hunter. We're going to be right there in that range of where he's going.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Travis Hunter? What are you doing with him this year? And what are your expectations?
I'm happy that he's gotten cheaper. I think he's very. I have no problem just taking him in best ball for the chance that he's just absolutely electric. I think it's the easiest format to take him in because you just use a 5th round pick on him and then you can just draft more boring wide receivers at other points. And then if he's amazing, he beats the boring guys. And if not, you just have the boring guys. Not to call Cortland Sutton boring, but that's kind of an interesting.
He is boring, but he's going to be good. So I definitely think he's worth the price, but you're right. It is a boring pick.
Yeah. And Hunter works great with him because Hunter's super high upside, but also who knows what the floor is. I do think we should take Walker or Hubbard here if it gets through. I'm going to be upset.
Walker went at 53, and then that.
Well, now I think
I would go Travis Hunter or Jalen Waddle.
Yeah. I think Hunter's a great pick here for our team.
Just a dynamite wide receiver 4.
Yeah.
See how the board falls, but I definitely think that we should look at running back. Try to get one if the board falls.
100%. Yeah. I like any of the 3 rookies. I don't think Kamara is gonna come through probably, but I'm a little less high on him. Kamara. I've been hearing a lot of good arguments lately about him just first of all, not being a very good running back anymore. From an explosiveness standpoint, he obviously gets so much volume, but then being on the Saints this year is going to be weird. I'm not sure how serious of a football team that is, and so I'm a little less interested in him unless it's an ADP value of some kind. The one guy who I would be interested in as if the rookies don't stay on the board for us here is Mixon.
Knew you were going to say Joe Mixon. I knew it.
He's so boring. Again, another boring guy. But
he's on the NFI list at the moment.
Is he on the NFI list? Oh, okay, maybe not.
Listen, it's July, right? He just went, so we don't need to worry about that conundrum. I'm fine with Caleb Johnson here if he's here.
I don't think he's going to be there, though. That's the problem. We're going to really
just
run out
went.
this guy. Yeah. No.
To be honest, I like Chris Olave a lot.
Yeah, for sure. At this point,
have a hard stop at 5 receivers and see what we can come up with.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I agree. We have just been like absolutely bamboozled into a 0 RB here, but
we have. I don't think that Shakir is going to end up on this team, even if he is there, because we just need to prioritize different positions. We've got. I love our wide receiver.
We should take Kincaid for sure. We should definitely take Ray Davis on this team. I think. I think he's like a potential.
We would end up having
not for like 7 rounds or something. I don't think, but
so I would have to take Ray Davis and Dalton Kincaid. For us, it'd be 127 and 138. But that's something that I do in the 11th and 12th round. If I kind of missed on Shakir and I have Josh Allen, I'm perfectly happy to take both of those guys to stack up there with Josh Allen. So we'll keep that in mind once we get there.
We've made we've created a fearsome wide receiver room here. I'm very satisfied with that.
This might be like a 6 wide receiver room where we end up just tacking on Josh Palmer just to correlate with Buffalo somewhere and just kind of calling it a day, if anything. You were talking a little bit about how, let's make this pick first, and then I wanted to talk about TreyVeon Henderson, kind of in that group of 3 rookies that you liked. Kind of in like 6th-ish round, but let's go ahead and lock in here.
I would love Pacheco or Pollard. I think either of those are good. And now, obviously, I'm sure both of them will go because that's just been how it's been going. Pacheco or Pollard is totally fine for.
I would lean Pollard. I'm pretty out on Pacheco, so let's go ahead and get Pollard. If we both
just talking about the Titans improving their offensive line, so that works.
Yeah, we would. Yeah, there you go.
I had a guy in my Scott Fishbowl. I had a guy in my Scott Fishbowl take Pollard at the 4-5 turn, which was super high, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, really, Tony Pollard?" And
that feels a bit early.
He loved it. He was like, "I'm all about it." So I was like, "Okay, that's fair. That's how it's gonna go." Yeah, that's a really solid guy to get for a 0 RB build to start.
And I think the bull case for Tony Pollard, first of all, he's a good running back.
Yep.
They improved their offensive line, and although there's a lot of buzz about Tajay Spears, he still only has 1 ACL. Like, let's not forget that.
Tajay Spears is fine.
What was that?
Tajay Spears is fine. Like, I'm like interested in him, but also I am able to acknowledge I'm kind of like lukewarm. I see both sides of the Tajay Spears case. I would love to prioritize that Warren Etienne duo a little bit further down, depending on how it shakes out. I think both of those guys would be great for a team like this. I think Etienne is just going to start for the Jags. I know that's like, I know everyone loves Bajal Tootin. Tank Bigsby has like something like 8 career NFL catches, or something is the number I keep seeing going around.
Not a pass catcher.
No, I just think Etienne's gonna start. But we're not there yet in terms of ADP.
I'd go Etienne personally over Jaylen Warren.
That's fine.
And you'd go. I'd go Etienne over Jordan Mason even as well.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure about Mason, to be honest. I think he's like an interesting dynasty buy right now because I think Aaron Jones might be out there in a year, and they might have got him to be kind of the guy. I think that's a good pick for us because obviously I don't really want to take Judkins right now. And
now I'll tell you, if Judkins makes it to 114, we might be having a conversation.
Yeah, no, for sure.
We need running backs that we know are going to play and going to score points at least sometimes.
What do you think about our tight end room right now?
I am perfectly happy to punt tight end. I kind of start looking at tight end if I don't go backwards or I don't get the discount on Trey McBride. I kind of start looking around TJ Hawkinson. Evan Engram is my favorite tight end target. I think he ends up being the number 2 in Denver, but I don't know that he fits this team because I don't want to go with the second. I don't want to go with mid-round quarterback to go with Josh Allen. I think it would be better to use the capital elsewhere. And then I don't particularly want 2 Broncos if I don't have Bo Nix, unless it just works out that way. Like if the board falls that way, it's fine. But I think if we can avoid it, why? What do you think? Are you thinking?
No, I think we should. I think we should wait. I think we should wait. I obviously just want to take Jaylen Warren if he survives somehow. But
if he gets there, this guy only has 1 running back, so he might take him.
Yeah, that's.
But if he gets to us, I would take the discount on Jaylen Warren. I don't have any of him, so it's always good to diversify a little bit.
I irrationally really love Jaylen Warren. I don't understand it. I like I like the little pass catchers a lot, and he's one of those guys. We need a backup option though.
Let's do it. Let's go ahead and take Jaylen.
Oh yeah, let's go. He got all the way through. All right, that feels written in the stars for me. Took Warren.
We were contemplating him at 90, so at 103, it feels like a smash.
Yeah. I'm very happy that I got to contribute to a Jaylen Warren pick on a stream. That makes me happy. Jaylen Warren's the guy. I like Caleb Johnson a ton too, so that I don't feel like that's necessarily a contradictory stance. I like Caleb Johnson as obviously the running back of the future in Pittsburgh.
Right.
I think Aaron Rodgers will like Jaylen Warren a lot because I think Jaylen Warren just does things well, and Aaron Rodgers will want to prioritize him quite a bit. I like that you're putting Tyler Warren on there. Tyler Warren is I'm growing in my confidence in Tyler Warren.
Yeah, I am. I think I am too. Especially seeing that he gets some carries as well.
Judkins 105, is that what that says? Judkins went 105.
Yeah, he went 105.
Okay.
Do you need me here? Let me try to.
No, it's good. I don't really need to see those numbers. Oh, that does help though.
No, but the
I can read the names, but I just wasn't sure what the okay.
I would like to go. I would go Scapo if he makes it to us. Just kind of continue to stack on running backs.
I absolutely have no objection to that.
We're at the point where this is a value for me, especially on Evan Engram, that I would take him to kick off our tight end room.
I would do either of those things here.
But let's go ahead and get Scatabo. I would say over Engram, because especially if we're going to prioritize Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah, I think we need running back. So Scatabo's a good call.
Is it Scatabo or Scatabo? I gotta make sure I'm saying.
My understanding, and I would say I'm about 90% confident in it, is Scataboo. Actually, I think it's Scataboo. It's very difficult because it's 1-0, but I think it's Boo. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so
I know it's Scata. I know that part. I'm not totally. The part where I'm confused on is the Bo or the Boo. I think that's probably one of those things where he understands that it's confusing if it's Boo with 1-0. So I'm sure he probably doesn't force the issue on that.
Right. And since Ramondre Stevenson just went at 119, let's finally circle back to TreyVeon Henderson.
Yes.
He seemed to be, at least from my perspective, and you correct me if I'm wrong, and then share your thoughts on him. But I feel like it seems to be a good pairing with Ramondre Stevenson, because although Ramondre Stevenson can catch the ball, he's definitely more of a runner than I think he is a pass catcher. Whereas Henderson, he did a lot of pass catching work at OSU, at least from my understanding. So I think it's a good fit for there. I just don't love it for this season's production. But what do you think about it?
No, I think that's the right call. I'm not sure it's going to be like a hit the ground running situation. He's just an awesome freaking player, though. The thing I think he's kind of like a diet Jahmyr Gibbs. In a little way, I don't think he's as good of a prospect as Jahmyr Gibbs, but I think he can have a very similar NFL impact where he's just like the home run hitter, at a really valuable efficiency clip. And obviously he's a great pass catcher as well.
So Tyler Warren came back to us.
Yeah, 100%. We need a tight end. I think
We'll do that and then see if Kincaid comes back around and just kind of settle in.
Yeah, that's a good. Honestly, that's a great pair. Are those bye weeks different? That would be the only thing I would wonder. But
they are. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think for what we're doing here, Kincaid Warren is a good setup. Do we even need to take Kincaid next round?
We would, as we pick 138. I mean, he might fall, but if we want him, we could probably take him there. Or we can go Ray Davis and add a fifth running back. Although, I like some running backs later that I would be perfectly happy to just double up on tight end and be done and use those last couple shots on a running back or two.
Yeah, there's been a big tight end run here, too. And then there's two guys without a tight end. I don't think
Kincaid's going to make it.
He's not going to survive these next two picks, I don't think.
No, unless somebody, maybe one of them has. We can take a peek. Does one of them maybe have Jalen Hurts? No, Jalen Hurts is on the other side of the board. We'll just have to see how it plays out here. Colston Loveland went a couple picks after us, another rookie tight end. Where is he at in your ranks, if you've even gotten to your tight ends yet? Or I'm sure you at least have some thoughts if you haven't ranked them just yet.
I think he and Warren are pretty obviously 4 and 5.
Yeah, and Kincaid just went at 131. That's a tough little run out. But yeah, I think if Ray Davis is there, we just take Ray Davis.
I agree. And I would be interested in Goddard as well.
Spike week player for sure.
And also maybe like a veteran to offset some of the Warren work in if there's a ramp up for him as a rookie. But but I would obviously prefer Ray Davis. Loveland and Warren, I think, are pretty obviously 4 and 5 in Dynasty. I'd take them sort of anywhere, depending on your tight end need, anywhere after pick 5 in a normal thing. Obviously, tight end premium, you go, let's take Ray Davis.
Yeah.
Love that. Taking advantage of Cook's absence. We love that. We love that little note. Thank you, Underdog.
In the one game Cook missed, Ray Davis had 20 plus carries for over 100 yards. The dude smashed. So
he also had he had a massive garbage time game one time. They beat a team by 50 points last year, and he had 2 massive long touchdowns in the fourth quarter. He's a great best ball guy. And he's I think a really valuable handcuff, especially because I just think the James Cook vibes are not good.
They're not great. And I'm a James Cook manager in Dynasty on a Dynasty team that I'm really kind of looking to compete this year. He's one of the 4 horsemen I have a running back because we start 2 flex.
I'm a huge James Cook guy. I had him in Dynasty until I traded him for the 10th pick, where I took Caleb Johnson this year.
Okay, I can understand. I can understand wanting to get out of maybe what you perceive to be a situation going downhill.
My team's not really competing this year, I don't think, particularly seriously. So it was kind of a good pivot for me. And I just he's not getting a contract extension, I don't think. Or if he does, it's not going to be kind of a premium one that they take care of. But he could. If he gets a contract extension, I'm a huge fan. But the vibes of the I demand to be taken seriously contract situation with him they're kind of just we got to pay other guys. I don't love it.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. All right. So it looks like we'll have, I kind of queued up a couple options. Isaiah Lakely is we need another tight end. Josh Palmer would stack nicely with Josh Allen as our wide receiver 6th. And then I like Guerendo. I'm fading CMC, so obviously I'm in on Guerendo here.
Yeah, I would do Guerendo. I worry about Likely and Warren as a combo that doesn't make a ton of sense, just because you're kind of betting on both of those guys. I think I'd rather have our tight end be, and I probably should have looked who was still available, but
that's all right. We've got let's see here, Brendan Strange available, Hunter Henry.
It's not great.
It's not great. There's a couple. This is definitely going to end up being a 3 tight end build, then I think, which is fine.
I would love to do a boring veteran tight end and a high upside, a rookie at the end as well.
Yeah, I can definitely get in on that. I think if Josh Palmer is available in 7 picks, though, I think that's probably the pick here.
Yeah,
give us our 6th wide receiver. As we went heavy to start and we kind of ignored it.
a boring veteran tight end I've been warming on lately is Chigakonkwo. Just from the fact that like Cam Ward's probably going to be like reasonably competent, and there's just like not a lot there.
More Titans talk. I love it.
Yeah, I know, so much Titans. But yeah, Chig feels like a kind of a safe compliment, I guess, to maybe safe compliment isn't how you win best ball, but
yeah, no, I mean, I could definitely agree in Chigakonkwo.
I don't want him this round, obviously, but
no,
yeah,
I think we go Josh Palmer here.
Makes sense. Okay, well, that was a very solid wide receiver room we assembled. I'm very content with that group.
Yeah, I'm content if we just stop at 6. I mean, we can go with the 7th one, but we'll see how it goes. But I'm very content at stopping at 6.
I don't really care enough to think about it until maybe towards the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, maybe we just want like a dart throw. We should probably start thinking about our quarterback too as well.
Hear me out on this one. What did I just say about Chigakonkwo? Could we pull off a Cam Ward Chigakonkwo like 1-2 here as our to like really bring everything? Oh, is he gone? Oh no, he's gone.
Cam Ward went.
He went so high
after we took Quaranta.
He went before Tua and Bryce. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I haven't seen him go quite that high yet.
Good for that guy.
I'm not really shocked because I mean, look, we all knew that Cam Ward was going to be the starting quarterback for the Titans from day one. But now that Cam's warming up, people see that little note that he's, taking reps with the starters, with the ones as expected. People see the note, they get excited. So they're going to pull him up the board a bit. Now you hear me out here. One of my favorite things to do if I go with an elite quarterback and I have a Saints pass catcher is just to completely punt and go Tyler Shuck in the 17th or 18th round.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know that we even have there's not even anybody else we have that we can stack with unless we want to go with a Colts.
Well, we do have Chris Olave, so actually that might be the right way to approach this for us.
I'm going to take Rico down because I love Rico.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah.
And then that'll put us at 7. I think a really good 7 for 0 RB running back room, if you want.
Yeah, I feel good about
Tony
that.
Pollard, Travis Etienne, Jalen Warren. All 3 of those could be the starters. Scattaboo could be a starter. Ray Davis has that high contingency upside. So does Garendo, and Rico Dowdle's on a run-heavy team. So I think that's a good 7 for waiting until 79 to take our first running back.
Not by choice. We just got every running back we wanted just went in like the mid rounds. After we took Allen, it was like every running back that we had a chance to take was just gone the pick before. And then I was like, all right,
trust me, I would have loved to take 1 or 2 running backs before our first one, but sometimes you just got to be flexible in best ball and you just got to play the board, and it's so important not to force it. Because we could have forced a running back, right? We could have reached for like Nalvin Kamara at 55 or RJ Harvey, someone that I don't know that I believe in. But I like that we kind of just solidified our wide receiver room. And then I like I said, I like the running backs we got late. You've kind of talked me into Jalen Warren a little bit, but I like the running backs we ended up with. So I think we definitely prioritize tight end here, see what we have.
Yeah. How do you feel about Chigakonkwo here?
Yeah, actually, this is about where he goes.
Mm-hmm.
He just went.
They sniped him.
All right. I mean,
gross.
We could just pull up Juwan Johnson if we're
let's take Juwan Johnson. Yeah, let's take Juwan Johnson.
Just pull him up.
Yeah, because we're gonna take Shuck here. Hopefully,
I say we probably let's see. I think maybe just take Shuck here.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's
in
the
17th, and then. We'll see what happens. He's there. He's an option.
So hear me out on this one. Maybe not. I guess we have Josh Allen, so it doesn't really matter. But,
no, it's not that important.
Yeah, because I was thinking if they don't take like Rodgers and Darnold and
that would have been nice. Darnold just went at 189.
Let's just take Chuck, and then our last pick will be like upside tight end guy, whoever is left.
Yeah. No, I like where you're going, though. I think so. I like to stack. I like to make sure I have a stack with my quarterback, but at a certain point, a quarterback unstacked is just worth it. And if Sam Darnold would have been there for us in the 17th round, I think you take that because then honestly, we could have just taken MVS to
Or
stack on as a seven receiver.
we could have taken Arroyo. Arroyo would have been perfect with that.
Yeah, Arroyo would have been great. He's going up at 198 now.
Oh yeah, he might not have.
Yeah, since they released Fant, he's somebody else I wanted to talk to you about. Because of the release of Noah Fant. Where are you? Like, how do you prioritize him now? I know that this was a deep tight end class as well, and so
I would take him everywhere in case he's awesome. That's like my philosophy with it. Is just like take him with like he's still super free. Yeah, let's take Shuck. I think it just works out well for us. He's still super free. And I would just like, he's going to go like probably 17, 18 turn here. He just is awesome. And I'm not sure how like it's going to translate or how much he's going to be on the field or if he's going to get injured, which he did a lot in college. But he's just like a crazy athlete. And there's like an easy upside case where he's like an X receiver as well as a tight end. Like he's just like, they just figure out that he's a really competent, pass catcher on a level of guys they don't have after their first two wide receivers. So I think he's awesome.
I think it might have been in this little report here. I saw somewhere that it might not have been this specific report on Underdog, but apparently a couple folks within the Seahawks organization think that he could take over some of the production that the former X receiver TK Metcalf had, and that's a lot of talk for a tight end, especially for a rookie. So I agree with you, especially now that the path is really clear. I mean, I think if he's here, I'd be happy to take him, even though there's two rookies. Again, it's a good tight end. It's a good tight end class. So why not?
We do need a. Yeah, I would pick him or like Ferguson or Theo Johnson maybe. Theo Johnson, I'd be good with Theo Johnson if Arroyo doesn't get through. But Arroyo might just get through.
Maybe Homer. Theo's one of my favorite late round tight end targets. I mean, there's a path for him to be the second targeter on the Giants. If they stop throwing the ball to Wan'Dale Robinson 140 times, who can't do anything after he catches it. So I really like taking late shots on Theo Johnson. As you see, I've kind of keyed up a couple guys. Noah Gray, I think, super interesting this year. I think we go Arroyo.
Let's take Arroyo. This is awesome. Arroyo in the last round is crazy. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, especially considering, like I said, I mean, on paper, he's probably the starter unless you're going to have some faith in, AJ Barner?
AJ Barner's pretty solid, but I think it's like similar to what they do. AJ Barner will do more of the actual tight end work, and Elijah Arroyo will be the one that's catching more passes.
Right. So let's kind of run through this team here. We did a little bit of a unique build here in that we went with more running backs than receivers, which I love. So we have a 2-7-6-3 where our quarterbacks are Josh Allen and Tyler Shuck. The running backs, we not voluntarily, but we ended up taking our first running back with Tony Pollard at 79, followed up by Etienne, Jalen Warren, rookie Cam Skattebo, Ray Davis, Isaac Guerrero, and Rico Dowdle to close that out. This wide receiver room I think is electric.
That's just great.
We've got three guys that are going to be target hogs, and CeeDee Lamb, Ladd McConkey, and although boring, very productive Cortland Sutton, especially with the best quarterback he's played with in his career. Upside shot in Travis Hunter, a guy that I think is a relatively safe pick in Chris Godwin, despite the question about the quarterback. I mean, he's a straight up target earner. If he didn't have concussion issues, even with the quarterback situation and the Saints offense as it is, I think he'd be going in like the fourth round.
For sure. Yeah, he's a great value. But obviously, like, especially as like your wide receiver 5, that's a great.
Yeah, no, I love it. And then we waited about 100 picks and tacked on Josh Palmer just to kind of stack with Josh Allen to round out our 6 wide receivers. And then tight end room is, I think there's a lot of upside. The floor is, I think, really low. Yeah. With Tyler Warren, Juwan Johnson, and Elijah Arroyo, 2 rookies. It's a really low floor, but I think the ceiling here is pretty incredible, if you ask me. I like that. I like that we went ahead and took some rookies, especially having you on. We were talking about rookies, and I don't think we forced them. I think they kind of fell to us in a good spot, especially Tyler Warren, I think is an excellent pick, about 9 or 10 spots past his ADP. Again, the floor is pretty low, but I think the ceiling there is really, really high.
Yeah, and I like what we did taking the Saints, and then we still in 16 and 17, and then we still got Arroyo 12 picks after ADP, which is the exact kind of late round type guy you want to take, especially on a tight end room that, like you said, lacks floor. And I just have been watching Elijah Arroyo camp hype for the last couple of days, so I'm excited about him.
Oh yeah, you're a Seahawks fan, so you're definitely. Tell me, as Seahawks rookies, talk to me a little bit about Damian Martinez. Now he's a guy I feel like he got some hype pre-draft as somebody that could be a bit of a sleeper, and then I think the bottom kind of fell out. What was he, a 6th round pick?
7th.
I think 7th to Seattle, kind of buried behind Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet. I've thought about mixing him in as a last round pick if I have a Saints build or even a Panthers build, and I want that week 17 correlation.
Yeah.
Just talk to me a little bit about Damian Martinez if you've got anything on him.
Yeah, don't know if I would take him in best ball, only because Kenny McIntosh is also on the team, and it has been a special teams guy for them. And Martinez is not really a special teams guy, which is why I think he went in the 7th round, from what I understand. That he wasn't a college special teams guy. Obviously, he might have to become one, but I think part of why he went in the 7th round is once it was clear that he wasn't going to get draft capital for a guy who's like a day one runner. His usefulness to the roster was only as kind of like an upside stash. I think super interesting dynasty case for him. Kenneth Walker's a free agent after this year. Zach Charbonnet's a free agent after next year. I don't think the Seahawks are going to sign Kenneth Walker to a contract extension based on vibes. Possible they do, but I think it's like unlikely, just based on he's been really incredible, but he's not ever healthy for a long period of time. And also he is kind of freestyles as a runner more than what I've heard about the Kubiak scheme would prefer. It feels like Zach Charbonnet is more of a scheme fit, although he's not nearly the explosive talent that Walker is. All that is to say, though, with Martinez, that those two could both clear out pretty easily, and there's a chance that he gets worked in sort of progressively and could potentially compete with Charbonnet in 26 if they don't do anything significant. So I like him as a dynasty stash. I don't know if I would take him in best ball, though. I'm not sure he has much on the field.
He has a couple injuries at least, right? A couple injuries to
I think a couple injuries are likely. Like, Kenneth Walker misses 4 to 6 games a year, basically. But Charbonnet was very good without Kenneth Walker last year. And he was very exclusive. Now, obviously, McIntosh was kind of the only guy that they had. But when Walker was out, they just fed Charbonnet. And so I don't love Martinez. I like Martinez as a prospect, like you said at the beginning, where he had some pre-draft hype at the bottom, fell out with the stock going in the 7th. But yeah, I don't see a ton of runway to anything in 25 for him.
Yeah, and that probably makes sense. Although, as you said, Ken Walker often injured. Zach Charbonnet, they feed him when Ken Walker's out, and he's proven that he can smash. I have a lot of Zach Charbonnet in best ball for that reason. And I agree with you on the kind of vibes-based take that Ken Walker won't be there beyond this season. And I say that because obviously, it's a new coaching his new coaching staff. And although a 7th-round pick, they did take Martinez. I liked him enough to spend a pick on him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like whenever a new coaching staff comes in, obviously they always like to kind of get their own guys involved. And like I said, Damian Martinez is a 7th-round pick. There's a chance they take a 2nd, 3rd running back and Martinez is cut. We never hear about him again, right?
Yeah.
But I think the overarching point is that Ken Walker's probably not, like you said, not going to be there because they probably want to get their own guys. They see he's often hurt. I think his efficiency's dipped a little bit every year since his rookie season as well. So I like the call there as far as Martinez being a dynasty stash. I really like that.
They also have guys to extend as well. Like they have a lot of like 2nd and 3rd year players right now. Walker being the 4th year guy, but like they have to pay Devin Witherspoon and they have to maybe pay Boye Mafe and they have to maybe pay Jackson Smith and Jigba and
definitely pay Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah. I'm just kind of thinking it was off.
Sure. And they just paid Sam Darnold too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think they have enough
now. Money eventually runs out, right?
Yeah, they have a lot of cap space right now. I think they're going to probably prioritize extensions for some of their really solid guys soon. And I just don't know how paying a running back who is very good, but it's very complicated, falls into their plans. I don't think it works. So I would imagine he is going to be somewhere else next year. And it's not for him like having a bad attitude or not being good at football. It's just, I think he's injured often enough that they likely will not spend one of the numbered amount of extensions they can give out over the next year or two on him.
Right. Okay. So outside of Damian Martinez, and we can look at any position here, quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end, outside of Damian Martinez, who is kind of like your favorite super deep stash guy? Maybe we can do one for running back and receiver. Quarterback probably.
Running back came in mind very easily. Brashard Smith from the Chiefs. Chiefs running back room is very tumultuous at the moment. Pacheco's a free agent end of the year. Who knows if Pacheco probably will look better than he looked at the end of last year. I would hope, like for Pacheco's sake, because he just looked awful when he came back from that injury. And Kareem Hunt is just the least sexy running back in the league from why do you have Kareem Hunt? Like that doesn't do anything for me having Kareem Hunt. He's just a guy that can like do the job and function properly. Then there's just not a lot there. I guess I have Elijah Mitchell now, which could kind of,
I was going to bring up his name. They gave him $3 million. It's not nothing. It's not like high-end money or anything.
No,
but
$3
million is not nothing for a running back when you have that depth. So
yeah, and he's
like plan to use him, but I like to call him Brashard Smith as well. There's been a lot of talk in camp already that he's going to have a role.
He reminds, like what I've heard about his game and kind of seeing a little bit of it and how it would fit for Kansas City is kind of Jerick McKinnon-ish, where he has the potential because he's a converted receiver to kind of have the Jerick McKinnon spiky role where he's just get on the field constantly because the what the Chiefs want to do is do the throw to the running back thing. And that's kind of the upside for me with him. I think it's going to take him a little while though, but I just think that unless you're one of those people that thinks Pacheco is just really good, I just don't see what's standing in the way of a talented pass catcher in Kansas City right now.
Yeah, and I'm not one of those guys that thinks Pacheco is a world beater. I mean, he's good.
That injury was just brutal for him. I just I think it's going to take him. I think it's going to take him quite a bit of time to. Yeah, I don't know. Him being a free agent and then looking bad when he came off that injury is just a bad mix. I think it's gonna open up for somebody like Smith, although I imagine they will keep taking future shots on people in that offense.
Well, I mean, hey, just a couple of years ago, Isaiah Pacheco was one of those day three
Exactly.
shots. And
Well,
here
that's
we are
the other
3
thing.
years later, and he had a couple of top 24 fantasy seasons for you. So I mean,
Yeah.
And so what about receivers? Is there anybody deep in the bag there that you think is worth a dynasty? That's maybe not so much for best ball or even 2025 production, but
I have one. Yeah, I think. Well, first of all, I want to give you. We were talking about Seahawks. So give Torrey Horton a shout out.
Absolutely.
I was watching Sam Darnold's presser earlier today, and he said Torrey Horton is really fast. Which is good. Torrey Horton's really fast. The Seahawks need really fast wide receivers because they do not have many really fast wide receivers.
It's MVS, but you have to be able to catch the ball, and that's something that MVS has proven he struggles with. So I definitely think that there's a role for Torrey Horton, especially because he's a different type of receiver than JSN and Cooper Kupp as well.
Yeah, I like Torrey Horton a lot. I think he's still working his way back from injury, but I think he's definitely got a lot of upside in that Seahawks room, which is kind of wide open. I think my real answer to this question, which is another wide open wide receiver room, and I wouldn't have said this until like a month or two ago. I would not have said this around the draft. But Dante Thornton in Las Vegas.
Even over Jack Beck.
Yes. Only just because I know like in the early training camp stuff, he's been working with the ones along with Beck, but he's been Besh. I think it's Besh. Yeah. He and Besh are kind of the 2 and 3 right now with Jacoby as the 1. And obviously like 1 because the 1 is Brock Bowers and the 2 might be Ashton Genty from a pass catching perspective as well. Like
it might be.
Yeah. But Thornton is kind of a super athletic type guy in kind of a mold of like a less insane DK Metcalf. Like he's just a very, very dynamic athlete who could be good at wide receiver. Like he's just like he's a really freaky athlete. And it just the buzz on that out of Raiders camp has been better than the buzz on Besh. And Thornton is a guy that is kind of mostly an afterthought. Like in best ball, he'll go sometimes, he won't go. Other times he's definitely a late round thought that people take shots on in best ball. But I don't know. The vibe, Pete Carroll does weird things. I have a lot of experience with Pete Carroll.
Right. Seahawks
Pete
fans.
Carroll does things where he has a guy, and if he likes a guy, the guy will way outperform conventional expectations.
Just a guy now.
No one in the world would have Jamal Adams on their team right now, but he just signed Jamal Adams like 2 days ago because
did the Raiders sign Jamal Adams?
Yeah. So Jamal Adams is on the Raiders now because Pete Carroll's the coach of the Raiders.
He was in Seattle for a brief minute.
Yeah, and Pete
obviously was in it, but
it was the fans didn't like him here, but Pete obviously liked him. And
right.
Pete just likes guys, and guys follow Pete because Pete likes them and gives them opportunities.
Guys like Pete. Pete is I think Pete Carroll is he's a player's coach.
Pete Carroll is like responsible for like one of the only championships I've experienced as a sports fan. So I'm forever in Pete Carroll's debt. But yeah, and I think if the buzz on Dante Thornton is good, and Pete Carroll clearly seems to like Dante Thornton, then I think Dante Thornton, even if the traditional production profile X draft capital doesn't really say this guy's somebody you should draft, but you should just kind of like draft guys that Pete Carroll likes and wants to give the ball to, especially because Jacoby Myers is not long for the dynasty value world. Like he's not a guy that, he's there, he's the incumbent. He's a good player. He'll get a lot of work because there's nobody else there besides Bowers and Genty. No other real wide receiver to compete with him unless you're a Trey Tucker guy. But
I hate Trey Tucker.
He
popped a little bit, but he's not. They drafted 2 receivers for a reason. Jacoby Myers I like him. I think he's, like you said, he's a good football player. But he'll definitely be fantasy relevant this year. Probably somewhere in the wide receiver 3-ish range. I don't remember exactly where I put him, but somewhere probably in the wide receiver 3-4 range for Jacoby Myers. He'll give you some weeks, but he's think we talked about it before, like with Cortland Sutton. He's just one of those boring picks, but sometimes you need that boring pick because you can't. It'll just to kind of help solidify and keep you afloat during the weeks where some of your flashy players have a down week. It's still important to have that type of player on your roster.
I would take Myers as an ADP faller in like most situations. Not a guy that obviously you want to like reach for because it's like, what are you really taking? But yeah, like he's a super safe guy. But given all of that, I think one of Besh or Thornton is going to matter both in sometime in 2025, but also long term, just because there's not enough. Jacoby Myers is not the kind of player that is super long term relevant. Like he's in the situation he's in, but one of those two guys I think will really matter over the next 3 years at one point, and Thornton is just so much cheaper than Besh still.
Okay, so in picking, you would, at least considering cost, you would go with Thornton over Besh.
Yeah, I would take Besh. I don't honestly Besh versus Thornton for best ball / just 2025 is kind of closer, I think, than it's pretty close. Obviously, I think I would still take Besh in Dynasty just because he was a second round pick that has pretty good profile skill set type stuff that could lead him to at least being productive pretty quickly. But Thornton, from a cost perspective, I think like Besh is clearly behind like Jaden Higgins now, like if he wasn't before, Trey Harris, like those kind of guys. And I think Thornton goes in a range where you could just pretty comfortably take a shot, and there's actually some like very concrete upside, and could be immediate upside too, because again, there's Bowers is going to get a lot of catches and like an insane amount of volume, like a tight end, highest probably for tight ends. And so that is going to make the receiver position inherently less valuable, but there's just so little there from a receiving perspective that there's going to be something. And what Thornton costs in a dynasty league, like he could be getting, 4 to 5 targets right away. And that could be pretty immediately influential. It would easily vault him above kind of like a speculative dynasty rookie draft pick into kind of like a really legitimate conversation.
So it sounds like if you haven't done your rookie drafts yet, which I'd imagine a lot of folks probably have towards the end of July, take a stab on Dante Thornton, take a stab on Brashard Smith. And hey, if you're in a deep 5-6 round draft, go ahead and take a stab at Damian Martinez as well.
Yes, take the Seahawks. I like the Seahawks rookies this year. All of them have upside. Maybe I'm just biased.
No, I think the Seahawks could definitely – I mean, it's really all going to depend on Sam Darnold, right? So the first portion of his career, the seeing ghosts is the kind of the theme for him. Kind of took a back seat, I think in San Francisco he was in. Took a back seat there, went to Minnesota, revived his career. We've seen it with Baker Mayfield. We've seen it with Geno Smith. Now we've seen it with Sam Darnold. Like maybe this is just who he is and who he was always supposed to be if he wasn't drafted by a dysfunctional Jets to start his career, right? Like a lot of it is for these rookies, no matter how good you are, a lot of it is so situational based. And maybe now, last year was a situation Sam Darnold needed to find himself and to grow and to get the confidence and to thrive. And now, of course, he's in a different situation now. But now that he has that confidence now. So it certainly could look a lot better than I think people are even expecting for Seattle with Sam Darnold. So no, it's always good to be a little homerish as well. But I think that's pretty spot on, especially considering the cost of the rookies. In Seattle, at least they're all pretty dirt cheap, right? Like so you might as well take your shots on what could be a really good offense the next couple of seasons if things pan out.
I don't think any of the three of them go above like the 4th round. Like maybe Arroyo and a premium would go in like the mid 3rd or early 3rd. But yeah, like Horton's a late round.
Probably undrafted.
Martinez is probably undrafted, I would guess, just because he's a 7th round pick. But yeah, and I think Arroyo is probably the only one with like for sure cost.
Yeah, he's probably drafted at least.
He's probably like the tight end 5, 6 rookies, because Mason Taylor would definitely go in front of him. And then it's kind of a toss up with like Ferguson from the Rams, who people like more than Arroyo, I think, because the Rams are like, ooh, we like him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably more valuable than the Seahawks saying we like Arroyo, just because of what that Rams offense does. And how tight end room stinks. Right. From fantasy, they're good tight ends. Like Colby Parkinson's a good tight end.
Sure. I mean, look, these dudes are in the NFL. Like they are good football players.
Yeah, they're just not
the NFL. They're good. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. We've definitely gone a little more than an hour now. So Patrick, unless there's anything else you wanted to, any last rookies you wanted to give a quick shout out to, I think we're probably going to wrap up here.
Let me think of one rookie to give a shout out to while I'm on this prompt. Oronde Gadsden. That guy's name is awesome. He's also he's like a junior or a second. His dad was an NFL player too, also named Oronde Gadsden. Great hype out of Chargers camp, and he's like even beyond the Arroyo range at tight end.
Just competing against journeyman Tyler Conklin. So not a lot of competition. Has NFL player in his genes.
Yeah, so, liked him at Syracuse too. I watched a couple Syracuse games last year with McCord, who was like really exciting, and Gadsden would like pop off of the screen when he'd get the ball. He's interesting. I don't know why I think he was undrafted or a 7th round pick or something. I don't know why he didn't go earlier. Because he was like a guy's and I guess he just doesn't have like competent tight end size, maybe is what it was. But yeah, that guy might be awesome. He might be totally nothing. But the hype on him is great. He went like in our draft we did. He went like 4 picks after we took Arroyo. He went like one of the other guys' late round picks. He's
really?
Yeah, he's exciting. I like him.
I sneak him into my Chargers builds if I've got like 2 like mid-round tight ends or like an elite tight end, and I just want like a deep shot. I'll mix Gadsden
with wide receiver too. Trey Harris, Quentin Johnston.
It might be Gadsden. Thank you everybody for tuning in to the Fantasy NFL Today show. You can follow us on Twitter at Ethos Fantasy NFL. You can follow me on Twitter at AQFresh. Patrick, do you have Twitter?
It's Patrick KSL.
All right, follow Patrick at Patrick KSL. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Throw us a like, any sort of comments. You can catch me out here in the best ball streets on Underdog, as well as on Twitter, just talking ball. Pay attention to all of our work, including Patrick's Dynasty rankings over at SportsEthos.com. Again, thanks for tuning in. I'll be back next Thursday to stream another best ball draft. And y'all enjoy the rest of your evening, and we sure do love football around here.